Hey there, it's Dr. Jim. Thank you for viewing. I've got a great topic. Team first and you second. What do I mean by that? Team first and you second. Okay. I've presented on the concept servanthood leadership for many, many years. And it always seemed to be very well received by my audiences. The concept of meeting the needs of employees or your staff before your own appeared to really resonate with a lot of the people that I shared this idea with. And then once my presentations were over, you know, I'm a talker, so I'm talking to people in the crowd afterwards. They would come up to me and chit chat, and I would always ask, you know, how did you feel about the content? How did you feel about the actual concept? Do you use it? Do you believe in it? So on and so forth. And the consensus was that being a servant to other people is one of the greatest ways to lead. So let's give credit where credit is due. In 1970, we're going back a while, Robert K. Greenleaf actually coined the term servant leadership in his essay, The Servant Leader. Of course, this idea was not entirely new in 1970. It's centuries old. And there are numerous examples of selfless leaders across the entire planet who put their lives on the line for people as well as humanity as a whole. So, servanthood leadership is not a complicated idea. It's very simple. You are the servant to others whose needs come before yours. In other words, and I'm sure you've heard this a lot, we've been binging on Marvel movies, and it's in one of the Marvel movies. Oh, Doctor Strange. The Ancient One says to Doctor Strange, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about them. It's about others. This type of leadership involves skills important to putting other people's needs before your own. So let's look at some skills involved in servanthood leadership. Another fellow, Larry C. Spears, former president of the Robert K. Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership, outlined 10 of the most important characteristics and skills involved in becoming a great servant leader. Number 1, listening. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, I think, for a reason. So listening is the number 1 skill required by anyone who wishes to lead people in any industry or in any business. One must develop a deep commitment to listening, to try, or really try hard at least, to listen to people and understand exactly what they mean. Listening involves being mindful, being fully present, taking notice of your body language, other people's body language, avoiding interrupting people when they're speaking, don't finish their sentences, and providing appropriate feedback. That's all involved in the listening skill, which is important for servant leadership. Empathy. No one wants sympathy out there in the business world. What they want is empathy, which means understanding where someone else is, where they're coming from. It means seeing the world as well as you can through their eyes. They have perspectives that no one else may have or appreciate, but if you serve others, you empathize with them deeply and genuinely. Healing. What does healing have to do with being a servant leader, and what does it mean? Servant leaders want to heal other people by being there. Servant leaders have great energy. Energy and presence can help calm people, focus people, uplift people. So healing involves supporting others physically and psychologically and caring about their happiness and their wellness. okay? They wish to greatly influence the workplace and to be a significant part of the culture that lives and breathes within an organization. That's healing, and that's really good stuff. Self-awareness. A great skill that servant leaders possess is the ability to practice emotional intelligence, one of my favorite topics, of the 500 favorite topics that I have. This involves reading the temperature of other people, the room, the group, and of yourself. It involves the ability to look into oneself and understand one's own emotions and behaviors and how they affect and influence others. Persuasion. Real leaders persuade people. They don't use their titles. They don't use their authority to move or push people into doing things. They persuade them. Their ideas and positive energy are what fuels their employees to feel empowered and to work in very inspired ways. Conceptualization. What do I mean by this? And what did Greenleaf mean by this? Servant leaders instill dreaming into their people. Dream big, shoot for the stars, keep reaching higher, all those types of mottos and whatnot. Servant leaders look beyond today and they envision a better tomorrow for their employees. They create mission and vision statements that stress hope and improvement. They're very positive. They're not in it for the short term, they're in it for the long haul. Foresight. Servant leaders see today, but they also have a keen sense of what tomorrow might look like. They learn good and sometimes hard lessons from their past to pave a way to the future. They don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. They learn. There are consequences to behavior, and servant leaders know that idea very well. Then there's stewardship. Taking care of what has been given to us is a top priority, and it's a privilege. To be given something to take care of is a privilege. Servant leaders know that resources are precious. Sometimes they are rare, hard to find, hard to get. And they must be used with great intelligence and intentionality. Stewardship means being accountable for what one has been afforded. And then growing people, that's another one. What do we mean by growing people? The best leaders are those who train their replacements. I've said that for decades. They're unafraid to instill the information and the skills they have into other people who could carry on. They're committed to raising their people up above themselves. They want others to succeed. They want others to be the best that they can be. Again, it's not about them, it's about everybody else. Developing community. If there's no community, who shall one lead? There's no community around me to lead, right? So this is why servant leaders care so much about building a group of people who share a common vision and common goals. That creates a community. They know where they are and where they want to be in the future within that community. They develop the roadmap together. They get in the vehicle and they drive until they reach that destination. Now, here's some final thoughts, because I know I'm going long on this. While there are many leadership styles and types out there to be studied and practiced and emulated, one that may benefit today's leader the most, in my opinion, is servanthood leadership or servant leadership. It comes naturally for a lot of people. Put other people first. Put yourself second. Think about them, not you. What will they do in return? Try it and find out. You might be very pleasantly surprised. I'm Dr. Jim. Thanks for your time. Keep keep on coming back for more.